The pawnshop door jingled as a tiny hand pushed it open. Dust motes danced in the amber light streaming through the window, glinting off guitars, old vinyls, and tarnished brass instruments that had long forgotten their songs. Behind the counter, Marty, the gruff owner, looked up from his ledger and saw a small girl, no more than 9, clutching a guitar case almost bigger than herself. She wore a faded denim jacket with a patch that read, "Dad's Little Rock Star." "Can I help you, sweetheart?" Marty asked, softening his tone when he saw her trembling lip. The girl nodded. I need to sell this," she whispered, sliding the case onto the counter. "It's my dad's guitar." Marty frowned. "Your dad's?" Well, she nodded again. "Hey, he passed away last year. I need $100. The words hit the man like a punch to the gut. The guitar. Marty unlatched the old case carefully. Inside lay a worn-out Gibson Les Paul, its cherry red paint chipped and fretted from years of use. The smell of old wood and sweat rose up like a ghost of music past. It wasn't just any guitar. This one had history. "Sweetheart," Marty said gently, "this guitar's worth way more than $100. Why are you selling it?" The girl hesitated, wringing her small hands. "My mom's behind on the rent. And it's my little brother's birthday. He wants a cake with his name on it this year. Last year we didn't have one." Her voice broke. Marty swallowed hard. "What's your name?" Ellie." He smiled softly. "Well, Ellie, your dad must have been one heck of a musician." Her face brightened a little. "He was!" "He played in bars sometimes. Said music makes sad people smile. He used to play Ozzy songs." Marty chuckled. "Ozzy, huh, that's old school. Your dad had good taste." He looked back at the guitar, the faded signature on the headstock catching his eye. He froze. "Wait a second," he murmured. There beneath the cracked lacquer was a faint scrawl to mark. "Keep rockin', Ozzy Osbourne." The Marty blinked. "Ellie, do you know who Ozzy Osbourne is?" "Dad said he's the Prince of Darkness," she said solemnly, but he smiled when he said it. Marty let out a slow whistle. "Sweetheart, this guitar isn't worth $100. It might be worth thousands." Ellie's eyes widened. "Then you'll buy it." Marty sighed, rubbing his temples. "I can't take it from you, kid. It's part of your dad. But I need the money," she insisted, her small voice trembling. "Please, mister. I'll come back and buy it later when I'm grown up." Marty's chest tightened. He looked at the little girl standing there with determination written all over her dirt-smudged face. A face too young to know desperation like this. He made a decision. The call that night after closing, Marty took a photo of the guitar and posted it on a vintage music forum with a short story. Little girl came in trying to sell her late father's signed Ozzy guitar for $100 to buy her brother a birthday cake. Not looking for money, just hoping this story finds its way to someone who cares. He hit post, poured himself a whiskey, and tried to forget the look in Ellie's eyes. By morning, his post had exploded. Thousands of comments, messages, shares. And then, one private message stood out. "Ozzy official, where's the girl?" Marty nearly dropped his coffee. He thought it was a prank, but then his phone rang. A deep British voice crackled through the line. "Marty, it's Ozzy Osbourne. I saw your post." Marty's jaw dropped. "Bloody hell, this isn't a joke." Ozzy chuckled softly. "Not unless I've started prank calling pawn shops for fun. Tell me about the kid." Marty recounted everything. The guitar, the story, the $100. Ozzy was silent for a moment, then spoke quietly. "That guitar, I remember it. I gave it to a bloke named Mark years ago after a show in Nashville. Said he was going to teach his little girl to play." Marty swallowed hard. "That'd be her dad." Ozzy exhaled deeply. "Can you get her back to the shop tomorrow?" "I think so." "Why?" "Because I owe her dad a favor," Ozzy said. "And it's time to pay it back." The meeting the next day, Ellie returned, clutching a small notebook. "I brought my dad's favorite songs," she said. "In case you needed proof it's real." Marty smiled. "That won't be necessary. But there's someone who wants to meet you." Before she could ask, the shop door opened, and in walked a man dressed in black, silver jewelry glinting, hair pulled back, eyes warm behind tinted glasses. Ellie froze, her mouth dropped open. "You're Ozzy Osbourne!" Ozzy smiled softly. "That's what they tell me, love." She looked between him and the guitar, her eyes filling with tears. "You knew my dad?" Ozzy nodded. "A long time ago. He came to one of my shows, said his little girl wanted to learn guitar. I signed that one for him." Ellie sniffed. "He played it every night, even when his hands hurt." Ozzy placed a hand on her shoulder. "He was a good man, wasn't he?" "The best," she whispered. For a long moment, the rock legend and the little girl stood in silence, the kind of silence that hums louder than sound. Then Ozzy knelt, his voice gentle. "I heard you wanted to sell it for $100. She nodded shyly. "I just wanted to help Mom, and buy my brother a cake." Ozzy smiled faintly. "Well, I can't buy your guitar, love, but maybe I can buy the cake." The twist that weekend. A black van pulled up in front of a small apartment building in Nashville. Out stepped Ozzy Osbourne, Sharon by his side, holding a giant box that read, "Happy Birthday, Tommy." The family's neighbors peeked out their windows as the legend himself walked up the worn steps. When Ellie opened the door, her jaw dropped again. You came? Ozzy grinned. Told you I would. Where's the birthday boy? Tommy, a shy 6-year-old in a Superman shirt, peeked from behind the couch. Blimey, Ozzy said, kneeling. You must be the fella who likes chocolate cake. The boy giggled. It's my favorite. Well then, we'd better fix that right up. He opened the box. Inside was a towering 3-layer cake, frosted in chocolate, with musical notes piped in silver icing. Ellie's mom, exhausted and wide-eyed, appeared in the doorway. Mr. Osbourne, I don't know what to say. Ozzy waved her off. Don't say a word, love. Your husband was a good man. He helped a lot of people. Now it's my turn. He gestured toward his assistant, who carried in another case a brand new Gibson Les Paul, gleaming under the light. He handed it to Ellie. You keep your dad's guitar safe. All right, this one's for you to play. Her lip quivered. You mean it's mine? Ozzy winked. Only if you promise to learn Crazy Train someday. She burst into tears and hugged him so tightly his sunglasses nearly fell off. Marty, who had come along for the visit, turned away and wiped his eyes. The concert weeks later, Ellie and her family were invited to Ozzy's private rehearsal in Los Angeles. She sat cross-legged on the floor of the soundstage, clutching her new guitar, watching the band tune up. Ozzy turned to her between songs. You ready to give us a little show, love? Her eyes went wide. Me? Why not? Music's in your blood. The room fell silent as Ellie stepped forward. Her hands shook, but when she strummed the first chord, a shaky, gentle G, the sound echoed through the room like her father's spirit had just returned. She sang softly, the melody uncertain but pure. Ozzy watched her, smiling quietly. When she finished, the crew applauded. Ozzy wiped his eyes. Your dad would be proud. As she looked up, smiling through tears. He always said music makes sad people smile. Ozzy nodded. Then keep playing, Ellie. The world needs more of that. The legacy months passed. One morning, Marty received a package in the mail with a handwritten note. Marty, thank you for helping Ellie. Thought you might like to know she's got her first scholarship, Music Academy in L.A. She's still playing her dad's songs. Love, Ozzy. Inside was a photo, Ellie, standing on stage, a spotlight washing over her as she held her guitar high. The same one her father had once played. In the corner of the photo, scrawled in silver marker, were the words, for Dad, keep rockin', love Ellie. Epilogue. Years later, a viral video made the rounds online, a teenage girl performing a soulful acoustic version of Dreamer at a charity concert. The caption read, Ellie Marks, the girl who sold her father's guitar for $100. Watch what Ozzy Osbourne did next. Millions watched, millions cried. And somewhere in the comments, a single message stood out, verified, blue check, familiar name, Ozzy Osbourne, still keeping her dad's promise, rock on love.